everybody. Welcome to the Topics of 12. Today we will be discussing what makes a website great, or making a winning website, presented by Jeremy Hyler with Zipster. This series has been a weekly webinar series that is presented by the Small Business Center with Rockingham Community College, and we are so thankful for that partnership with Susan Reagan, who's our local rep for that. And I will say to everybody, it is a wonderful program and it is funded by the state. So make sure that if you want to join us, that you register for that program and that you follow through with the surveys as we move through them. But also we'll have a great playback, and it's listed on the Reidsville Chamber website under Topics at 12. Also, thanks to the Reidsville Chamber of Commerce and Team Reidsville and the Rockingham County Economic Development Office for partnering with us. And thanks to the Western Rockingham and Eden Chamber of Commerce for getting the word out and helping us get folks here. So we are going to get started today, and we are going to turn it over to Jeremy Hyler with Zipster.
Okay, thank you very much for allowing me to come again to speak today. I'm going to talk about what creating a winning website looks like. So a little bit about myself and Zipster. I'm the creative director for Zipster. So I've been doing this for about 6 years now. What I really enjoy is telling businesses stories and getting people out there. So I'm a marketer at heart, but telling stories is what I really like to do. I really love to help businesses and build websites, and that's what Zipster is here for. We love to help businesses, especially local businesses, get online as fast as possible. So let's go into it. So a little bit about Zipster. Everything you see today in these screens will be built on our Zipster platform. Zipster is a website platform. So if you've heard of something like WordPress, Wix, Squarespace, we are just like them. The big difference between us is we're local. We're easier to use. We have actual support, and we're just as costly. We cost about the same exactly as them. The big difference between why you hadn't heard of us maybe is because we don't have millions of dollars to spend on advertising like those guys have. So our little thing is we'd love to help local businesses. So what about websites? Websites are easy. There's 5 simple steps to getting started. And for a small business, you shouldn't have to think bigger than that. You shouldn't have to work longer than you have to for a website. So step one, by picking a template. 2, plan your pages. 3, choose your images. Make sure they're high quality images. Put in great text, let people know who you are, the who, what, why, when, where about you. And let people know what they need to do. Do you want them to buy something, book you, or get in touch? And just don't overthink it. A lot of people overthink their websites and think they have to have everything under the sun before they start building a website. No, there's things you can do to go ahead and get your brand out there, and that you can always redefine. The thing is, websites aren't permanent. You can constantly change them and evolve them. So step 1, let's talk about choosing a template. A template makes it easy to build a great website fast. So key features you need to look for when you're building a website: you need a fast loading website. Fast loading websites are great for Google purposes and for your user's experience. They say the average person will leave a website if it doesn't load in 3 seconds is 80%. That's crazy. Think about it. You think 3 seconds isn't that long. Exactly. People don't stay on pages that long in general. You have about an average 30 seconds to actually get people excited to even do anything on your website. So make sure your website is engaging and it's fast loading. Make sure it's mobile responsive. Everyone uses mobile devices these days. If your phone can't display them, like some websites are still Flash out there. Flash hasn't been useful since 2013. And now they're really trying to get rid of it altogether by the end of the year. So think about your website. Can people see it on a phone? Does it look good on a phone is another thing. There's some websites that make it work on a phone, but they don't look very good on a phone. Make sure it's mobile responsive. Zipster websites, what I like to call magically mobile. So you design it once and then it magically looks good on your phone. Make sure you're not having to do extra lifting, because there's a lot of extra lifting out there with certain types of website platforms where you have to design for both mobile versions and the desktop experience. As a business owner, you don't really have time to think about that. Unless you have a web person that's actually doing all this stuff for you, you need to do a lot of these things, and you need something to work fast. Make sure it's easy to build on. A lot of those out there require code, or at least some coding experience to even actually build. Ours is all drag and drop. So it's basically like building with Legos. And that's what I really like about websites. It's kind of like you kind of mix things up. You get the desired looks that you're looking for. Make it simple for yourself. And that's what our desire is, to make it easier for business owners to be able to modify their website when they need to, how they want to, on their own time, versus spending hours and hours doing it. Make sure it's beautiful. People look at things, they are visual. A lot of things we hear in the business is people don't read. Exactly. They're actually looking for something that's going to stand out. So have a beautiful shot of something. If you're, work in service industries, you can show off what you've done with before and after photos. Those are types of things that you need to highlight. If you have a bar or a restaurant, highlight the food. People want to be able to eat before they even get there. And doing that visually, you'll get them excited to even show up. So think about beautiful images and beautiful templates that can showcase this stuff. You can use small images, big images, make it bold, make it just initially just punch people right in the face, basically, of saying, ooh, I want to come have this experience, and make sure it's reliable. One great thing about our system is our hosting is included with the website, and we've had 15 years of service with our company, and it has only been down. We've had an up service of 99.97% throughout those 15 years. There's other platforms out there that require you to purchase hosting, but some of that hosting's slow, or requires constant updates, or servers go down or something like that. Make sure you're getting what you deserve for your business, because you have to be up to let your customers be able to get touch base with you at all times. So how do you choose? So when you're looking at templates out there for different types of platforms, any one, look at how the logo and menu is placed. Those are the key things that you're going to see of templates. Instead of building from the ground up, you can just basically see a design and say, ooh, this is what I like about it. Everything is virtually changeable. The colors, how it looks, where things flow. If you see a template for an artist, that doesn't mean you can't use it as a restaurateur or a service industry. Everything can be changed and modified to look just like how you want to. It's just how things are placed. So look at how the menu is placed. Is it on the left? Is it above? Is it below? And how the logo is placed. Is it also at the top, in the middle, below? Think about those things when you're choosing a design. That's what you really have to think about when you're choosing templates. Make sure it's a simple layout. Some people like to overcomplicate things, add animations, you start scrolling, things start popping up. Those actually bog down the website and actually slow down your website. And Google doesn't really like slow websites. Those are something I'll talk about later when I get into SEO. Having a simple website is just going to be more engaging for your customers. They'll get to the information a lot quicker. They won't have to wait to see information. And it just streamlines the whole process. What's the one thing you want them to do? You want them to be able to either get in contact with you, book you, or buy something from you. Don't make it harder for them. So people overthink things sometimes. Think like your clients. When you're going to something, what's your experience like? Is it easy to navigate your own website when you go to it? You're like, oh, well, you got to click here, you click this, then you go to this drop down, then it's in this drop down menu. Make it as simple as possible. We try to tell people, when you're building a website, have 7 main things in your menu, because if you need more than that, it's okay to use drop downs when you need to, but less is more sometimes. At the end of the day, if they're having to navigate through hundreds and hundreds of pages to find this one piece of information, it's very difficult for your customers to, experience in general. Make it simple, and make it simple for yourself. You don't want to be able to describe, hey, click on 20 things to get to this one thing. Check out other websites too. See what they're doing. What's something that you love about, someone's website? Sometimes, when you're looking at competitors and stuff, you're like, what are they doing? What makes their website stand out that you like about it? And it's something that you can kind of either apply to yourself or at least get inspired by. Or, just if you ever get curious and look around the internet, there's tons and tons and tons of websites out there. There's billions. So there's something always out there that's going to inspire you. And again, don't overthink it. When you start building, there's 3 main core pages that you need to think about. Your home page, your about page, and your contact page. Those pages are the most important pages on your website, because it's going to, the first one's going to basically be a pamphlet to everything you give them. Your about page is going to be more details about who you are, your business, your brand. And then the contact page is going to allow them to touch base with you. Those are the 3 things you need them to know, and that's how you're going to sell yourself. One of the cool things about our templates are you can change them with one click. So if you don't like one design, you can always change it later. Or maybe you want to update it in the future. Those are really cool things. There's a lot of other templates out there where you have to start from scratch constantly. Don't do that. You don't have time for it. Planning your pages. So that's the true goal. What do you want to focus on? So the question is, what is your true goal? The answer should always be to make money. So that's what you want. You want customers to be able to book you to make money. So, if you're a restaurant, you're trying to get people to book with you. You're trying to get customers to make money. If you're a jewelry maker, you're selling products. You want to make money. If you're a public speaker, you're trying to get people to book you for events, or you're booking events to make money. If you're a yoga studio, you want to fill up your classes. You want to make money. Those are the core things about any business. You want to be able to make money and be self-sufficient. That's what your website needs to be doing too. And how can you streamline that process? So again, those 3 pages that I talked about, the home, about, and contact, those are your 3 core pages. Start with those. Get those built properly. Everything you can do, you need with 3 to 5 pages. Pretty much you can do it. And then if there's more pages you need to add, of course, you can add those pages. But those are the core pages that you need. And then after that, you might want to have a testimonial page, an FAQ page, something that explains even deeper content, especially about whatever services you might do. And then, of course, you can have even more pages if you need them for your type of business. If you're a restaurateur, you want to have a menu page. You want that text to be readable. Some people like to just put a picture of their menu up there. Google can't read that picture. It's like trying to touch, think of Google, I like to say, as they're all robots, basically, but they're blind and it's reading Braille, and your words are Braille. But a picture, it can't feel the letters. So think about that. Make sure that words are up there. Because then when people are searching for the best hamburger in Eden, North Carolina, if you have that written on the page, they're going to find it. And it's okay to start with one page. Start building on your home page. That's your core page anyway. That's going to give the entire experience, and then build the other pages as you go. Some people think they got to have everything right away, but you don't have to. Again, this is all temporal. So you can change things as it goes. And you can update things as it goes. Just get something out there so people can go ahead and book you or contact you. So another core thing is picking your pictures. Our brain processes images 60,000 times faster than reading images. That's why I say when people don't read, actually, it's not because they don't read. It's because they're seeing things visually first. People are just, people are visual. They want to see something that's pleasing to them. And having appetizing photos, having engaging photos, is going to draw their eye in first versus, reading a wall of text. So if you don't have images or you need to get images, here's some ways to do it. You can take them on yourself. I would recommend having a nice digital SLR camera if you're going to take photos in general. It's just nice to have. Or invest in a professional photographer. There are lots of local photographers in this area. Use them as a resource. They can take your photos. They do different types out there. Use stock photography if you're in a pinch. There's tons of stock photography websites to convey your type of message that you want to, showcase that. And there's lots of free ones out there. There's a place called unsplash.com, pexels.com, Canvas, and GIMP. All those places, you can get free tools. So GIMP is like a free version of Photoshop if you need to make graphics. Canvas is the same thing. Pexels and Unsplash are free resources for you can use royalty-free images, and you can put them on anything you want to. They're really great. They're really high-quality photos. But of course, there's other sources out there if you want to purchase them, like iStock or Getty Images. But these are great launching pads, and even you can use them as placeholders till you get your actual photos taken. When you're making images, make sure you pick the 5 to 10 that represent your core look. Again, everyone is visual, so make sure it doesn't look cheap. Part of that is not using your phone. Some people just rely on our phone cameras. They're fine in certain instances, but they don't take the highest quality photos. They don't take professional quality photos. Only use those great ones. Bigger is better. Always have really big, rich images. I know sometimes that can be hard for some people to find, but again, use a large photo if you can. And if you're going to have galleries of images or pictures on a page, no more than 25 and 10 per info page. So you don't need a lot of images, but you need a good amount that just look really great. So just make sure they look beautiful. And see the difference? This is a phone. This was shot on the phone on the left. And this is one that was shot professional grade. And which one, if you have a store set up, which one are you going to purchase from? You're obviously going to purchase from the one that looks best versus the one that's muddled and dark. So think about that experience. Your people are going to be able to purchase from you. They don't want to see something that's grainy. They don't want to see something that's low res. They want to see a high quality image. And words, you're going to need them. I know a lot of people are afraid of writing. That's where you can go into, if you need words, you need to have them for SEO and for people to actually search for it. If you're afraid to write, don't be afraid to ask for someone to look over your words or hire someone to actually write your content. That's part of the thing, like have a professional writer look at it. There's free tools out there like Grammarly that can actually help. That if you stumble over grammar or anything like that, I myself, I like to write stories, but I'm not the best grammar person in general. It's a great tool that fixes all that language for you. So, you sound professional and polished when it's out there on the internet. Use it. It's a great tool. There's tons of other ones out there like Hemingway, which also is a great tool. It lets you know what level of, writing are you writing at, what grade level. So, we tell people at least fourth to fifth grade level because, most people education is around that area of learning words and understanding words. So make it simple, write simply and clearly. People need to know what you do. They need to understand the language that you're putting out there. Shoot for 200 words per page. It's a couple paragraphs. It sounds like a lot, but I'm going to show you an image in a second that shows you what 200 words can look like when you design it well on the website. Make it skimmable. Put headlines. Make it easier to read. Some people like to put walls of text. Break that information up. Put some images in between that. That's just going to make it a little bit more digestible for people. And spell check. Again, Grammarly is a great tool. Google Docs, if you have it, it's getting better and smarter as you go as well. So what does 200 words look like? Here's what 200 words looks like on 2 different websites. So you see how they broke it up on Local Honey. It's a local business, a barbershop here in Greensboro. They broke up how, what they do on the left side through little dots and then a little information here and there and a paragraph and then some images. And the SPCA, also another local website, they did theirs in more of a, just paragraph style with an image on the side. So basically it's a couple paragraphs of information, but it's enough to convey the information of what they do, and they're highlighting it in different ways. That's all you need. Think about that for your pages. Think about that for your home page. Think about that for any of your pages inside. Number 5, sell and get customers. You got to make them be able to book you. So remember your goal. What do you want them to do? You want them to buy from you. Now's the time to give people a way to buy your stuff, contact you, book you, and pay for your services. So let's hook up your website. You're going to need a contact form. Put forms on your website. Zipster comes with forms already built in digital contracts, so you can already integrate them. Some other platforms, you actually have to use plugins to integrate them, like Jot forms and stuff like that. Make sure they have a form to be able to touch base with you. Set up a store. Sell your products, membership, downloads, anything you have. Whatever you want people to be able to purchase directly, you can make it digital, or it could actually be physical products. You can set it up and then ship it to them. Create order forms. If you need to take registrations or custom orders and collect payments, you can set those things up. That way people are able to pay for you for your services. And let clients schedule times for you. If you're doing bookings or any type of events like that, even for local pickups, you can use scheduling tools for, X person's going to come here at this time on this date, or maybe you're doing a drop off for a customer. You'll know when those times are and they can select that on your website. Give people the opportunity to have those situations on your website so they can book with you. E-commerce. One of the great things about our platform is store comes free with your website. So if you need to sell anything online digitally, or, you want to be able to, have something tangible, you can do that stuff. One of our clients, Cheesecakes by Alex, he sells his cakes through the website. You could either do digital you can do pickups or ship across the entire nation, which I didn't know until I started talking to him. Make sure your products are set up and connect to a merchant. You can select any type of merchant you want out there. There's tons out there like PayPal, Square, whatever you prefer, you can connect to them. Make sure everything is simple and together. That's the one thing you need to do. There's a bunch of different e-commerce platforms out there, but ones I recommend, besides ourselves, is if you want to have something, look at, Shopify if you need to have a store. But I would recommend using those 2 types of platforms because, something like Etsy is great for crafters, but they take huge merchant fees out of stuff. We don't take any fees out. I know Shopify takes some fees out, but just watch out because, if you're selling products for thousands of dollars and they're taking over 20% of your product, how much are you really making? So we try to make sure that business owners have their money. Use call to actions on pages. Call to actions are what we call buttons that tell people to do something. So like on this page right here, it's telling people, there's a button right on this banner. It's telling people to contact us today. Buttons guide people down a page. If it's telling people to do something, it's giving them something to do. Don't be afraid to ask what you want them to do. If you want people to be able to contact you, book you, or click here to learn more, let them know there's something to do. Make it easy. Make your contact info always there. On this website here, they have their phone number and email right at the top corner. They want people to know that they can always be contacted directly. And have no dead ends. What's a dead end? When you get to the end of a page and there's nothing to do. If you get to the end of a blog and you have nothing for them to do, those are what we call dead ends. Make sure you have an opportunity to have a call to action here always. That means having a button that says, if you've displayed some type of before and after service you've done, maybe you've cleaned some carpets, and you've shown these photos. What you can do at the bottom is you can have a wrap-up message about, like, we did this for this customer. Here's their results. If you want to get the same results as us, click here, call us today, or click here to book with us right away. Having that type of stuff at the end or beginning of blog articles is great. At the end of every page, having a form or having some type of call to action is going to makes it a lot easier. Make them have it on every page. And I like to call these pages targeted pages because then each page ends up being their own landing page. Giving them something to do. If you have a call to action or a form that people can book with you on those pages or contact you directly on those pages, that's just going to help people get in touch with you faster. Because once they scroll through a page, they might not scroll back to the top. They might not click that contact, but at least you have the opportunity for them to click a button or at least start putting information on those pages. So that's the core of building a website. Remember, there's 3 pages. Those are core, and these other options are out there. Just think about building a website using a template. It's really fast and easy. Don't spend hours. You don't have time. As a business owner, you don't have time to be working on your website. Use something fast and simple. Make sure it has all your information out there. And I always like it because everything is all together with our platform versus some of these other ones. WordPress, you got to rely on some designer fixing plugins. Then you have to wait for plugin updates. You don't have time. Everything we update is seamless and it's in the background. So you get the newest version every single time. You don't have to download and upload a new version every single time. So let's go into other things. SEO. A lot of people don't know what SEO is, or they know what SEO is, but they're confused about what it is. SEO is search engine optimization. It's how your business is discovered through search engines. So when people are searching on Google, Bing, anything else, this is how people find you. So let's talk about how to make SEO work easy for your business. Number 1, you should get a Google My Business page. Every business should have that. And I'll talk about how to do that. You make your pages searchable. And I'll talk about metadata and descriptions and tags that you need to add to your pages so people can search for you. Get reviews. Reviews are a core way that you bubble up to the top if your business is doing well. Obviously, Google wants to share that with everyone, let them know that this is a good business that's reliable. And blogging is one of the hidden things that people don't think about. This is a core thing that you need to do for your business. And again, if you're not a writer, this is something you can work on, but you don't have to do a lot of work on. Remember those 200 words that we talked about? That's basically 2 paragraphs and then some images and a call to action. So Google My Business. Here's the address for that. I'd recommend everyone who doesn't have a Google My Business page to get it today. So go google.com/business. Sign up, it's free. Put your website out there. Here's why this is great. This is going to give you immediate attention on Google's radar, because what it's going to do is, if you're not even on page 1, the way it works is it's going to list you on a map. It's going to get your information out there. So when people are searching for, say, best bar in, Reidsville, all the bars are going to pop up. But if you're just built the website and you haven't done this yet, it's still going to put you on that map because it's going to look for the search radius of who searched for that item. So I'm searching in Greensboro area. If I type that in, I'm going to see all the local businesses within like a 25-mile radius. And this is great because maybe those pages, maybe your website's not ranking page 1 yet, but you're going to show up on a map already. And having that map means people are more likely going to search for, your reviews. And that means you're going to have those Google reviews available for people to see. And it also just puts you already on those competitors' levels. So if you're starting out, this is going to get you out the door faster. And it's really strong. So I recommend everyone doing this for their business. This is a great thing to show off your business locally and get you on page 1 without doing SEO work yet. So when we're doing the SEO portion for our websites, the things you're going to have to work on is your page title, your meta descriptions, and your meta keywords. Now, we have some SEO tools built in the back end of our systems that you can integrate to the back end of your website. This is the invisible stuff that no one really sees. This is what Google sees. So let's take a look at your page title. It's a brief and accurate description of your website business. It appears both in Google search and open browser tabs. So we say the optimal amount of characters for this is 55 to 60. Any more than that is not good. It actually docks you from Google. Google penalizes things if they're too long or too short. So an example would be Jenny Jones wedding photography / greater Los Angeles area. So I know Jenny Jones, she's a wedding photographer, and what area. Those are the core things that I needed to know about her business, and that fits the character model. Meta description. Your page description should summarize the page's contents. Search engines use this to give a brief summary of the page / website before it clicks on it. Optimal amount of characters for that is 50 to 155 characters. So the most I would do is say for Jenny Jones, example, Jenny Jones is a PPA certified photographer who has specialized in weddings, engagement photography for over 5 years, serving the greater Los Angeles area. So it's taking that page title and stretching out. So what else did we learn about her? Now we know she has been specializing as it. She's a certified photographer. She's also does engagement photos, and she's been doing it for 5 years. So that's that extra stuff that's been added to those pages. Those are the types of things that you can look at. So if you're, a restaurateur, and you sell like, just Italian food or anything like that, those are the core things you can say. Italian food, Reidsville, North Carolina, over X amount of years. That just certifies you into that area, how long you've been there, what types of food you serve, and what the location is. So think about those things when you're building the descriptions. Meta keywords. Keywords are important, but they've changed over the years, and they constantly change. This is the thing that a lot of people do that is a little questionable in some areas. They'll put all these words on a page. So if you've ever been to a website where it says, hi, my name is Jenny Jones. I'm a photographer. I'm a photographer in this location. I do wedding photography because I like this type of photography. I love photography. When they keep saying things over and over and over, and the location they're at, what their business is, this is what we call keyword stuffing. This is actually negative, and it penalizes you. Google doesn't like to read that. What Google is interested in is becoming more human. I know that's a scary thing to think about, but the artificial intelligence, the algorithm as we call it, is looking to read more human. So it wants to read how we would write. It wants to know how humans and dialects are and how we would approach words. It doesn't want to read things that feel systematically punched in, that feel fake. It starts to dock pages for that. So these are tactics that used to work in early Web 1.0, like 10, 20 years ago. But now that is a penalty. So if your web page is like that, that could actually be hurting you now. So think about those keywords. Make sure it's organic feeling. So an example of keywords you should put on your page, and this should be only on the back end. Don't put this on the front end. So Jenny Jones wedding photography, Los Angeles wedding photography, Los Angeles wedding portraits, and so forth. So this is where you can actually put the location in multiple times, what you do, and kind of just break it down how people search. Think about when people are searching for a restaurant, they might not be searching for that restaurant by name, but they're looking for a specific type of food. So the burger spot, taco joint, Chinese restaurant, Reidsville, things like that. That's how people search. They don't search things by name unless they exclusively know it by name, especially people from out of town. And if that's what you're trying to get is more outside business, you got to think about those types of things. So, when people are searching for best plumber, best lawn care service, best X in whatever location, that's how people search. They don't search things exclusively by name unless they have that product or that company's name fully. So those are the types of keywords that you need to put in. And you only need to put in no more than 15 keywords per page. So think about your core 15 to describe your business and what you do and the location you do it. And think about how people search. How would you search for your own business if you were looking for you? Those are the things you need to think about. And get reviews. Reviews are essential for your business. People, especially now, they look at reviews before they make any purchase. When you go to Amazon or anything like that, do you look at how many stars that item has before you purchase it? Are you more likely to purchase from someone who has a 3-star item or a 5-star item or a 4.7 item or a 2-star item? Those are the types of things that people look at when they go now. And then they look into the reviews, and then they see what people wrote about them. Why did that person? I like to look at negative reviews first. That's just me. I like to see what negative experience they had first, and see if that contrasts all the positive reviews out there. Maybe this is a one-off experience. Maybe this person just had a bad day, or maybe this person just had a real overall bad experience in general, but it doesn't reflect the entire business. So I like to see what negative is out there first, because people are more than likely to give you a negative review before they give you a positive review. That's just in general. People like to express how bad of an experience is before they will express how good of an experience they had. It's just human nature. So add a review button to your website. Make sure there's something there. You can link it directly to your Google My Business page. Those are things. So when people click on it, they can leave a review or read reviews. Contact previous clients that you've worked with. If you just built a website and now you have your Google page up, but you don't have any reviews, go back to those previous customers who had great experience with you. Say, hey, do you mind leaving me this review? Most people will do it for free if you ask nicely, so just go ahead and ask for it. And then if you want to, you can incentivize them if you want to, like, hey, if you leave me a review, I'll give you 10% off on your next thing. Those sort of types of things you can do to make people feel good, about like coming back to you in general. And, people will do it. Don't be afraid. People are afraid to ask for a review. If they had a good experience, the client will tell you. And now if you ask them nicely, they will do it for you. Send them a link. Go to your Google or Facebook. Those are just core places that you want to put them. Some other places that you might want to think about but aren't generally looked at as much anymore is places like Yelp or, Bing or all these other places. But your core places that people are on most days is Google and Facebook. And always respond to reviews that are negative. Even the good ones, reviews show only one person's side of the story. If someone gives you a negative review, at least you can put in there, hey, this person, when they signed up for this, it didn't go right. It was just not the right fit for them, yada, yada, yada. Let them know, let other people see that, because that's your experience of, you're still marketing through your reviews. People reading that is going to see like, okay, this business has a valid point. Okay, maybe this person's experience is a one-off. Working in this industry for websites, we see all types of reviews. We had one customer who complained about something, but it was something personal happening in their life at that time, and they just decided to take it out on us because they wanted to change some things. Things happen and people get negative. Let people see that side. So always respond to reviews. And blogging. Blogging is core. I know a lot of people are afraid to write again. This is a core thing about blogging. If you only have 7 pages on your site, that's 7 pages that are out in the billions and billions of websites out there. So the way I describe it is, some people like to build single page websites with all their information on it. That's like taking a single fishing rod out to the sea. If your web page is just one out there out of billions, you're relying on someone searching and trying to discover you in billions of search options. Having a multi-page website allows you to have casting a net. If you're able to blog more, you're just extending that net. You're creating more page content. You're creating more content that drives back to your website. So why go for just a single rod, a fishing rod, versus a net? You're going to get bigger yield. You're going to have more results. And that's what blogging does. Blogging, it just extends it. It's just going to make your net larger for catching more people's attention. So it's going to just have more pages out there on Google. And it's a great way that you can show new content and that you're still current without having to update your website. And you can push these to social media much more frequently if you have new content. Let people know that you're constantly updating. If you, again, do services, before and afters are a perfect way to showcase your content online. People love before and after stories. They love seeing you took this place, if you're doing construction, we took this and we remodeled it. The before and after is always a delightful thing for people to see. And then having those call to actions, saying, hey, you want us to do your next remodeling job? Click here. It's just going to drive people inward into your website is what you want. Showcasing that stuff on social media drives people to your website, which then drives to potential sales. And write like a human would. Again, write normal, talk about the day, talk about your experience. If you're a photographer, we tell people, if you're doing a session, you want to showcase that session you did with, a newborn, Talk about like the mother coming in. Talk about the baby was cranky. Talk about those types of experiences and then showcase the photos after it. It gives people like an insight of what that day was like and the results from that day. People love stories, and being a visual storyteller is one thing that's just going to drive more sales. And write often, 1 to 2 times a month is all you need to do. And then share that on your social media channels, your Instagrams, your Facebooks. Let people know that they can find you and that this is just going to keep driving people back to you. So SEO summary, Google loves words. Don't forget that. So make sure you have really good words. Text on every page. Use keywords. Write like a human. Try some blogging. I know it's scary, but do it. Use call to actions. No dead ends. So always have a call to action. Have a form at the end of pages. And your metadata. Make sure you have that information on all those pages and change it up. If you're talking about the home page, talk about what's on the details on the home page versus what's on the about page versus what's on the menu page. Let people know. That way it's just going to make those items more searchable in the end. So a little bit about Zipster. Again, we're an all-in-one system, so we pretty much give you all the tools right away. You have built-in forms, a website with hosting, security. Everything is secure on our end. We have that online store option, blogging tools built right in, a CRM for collecting people's contact information, marketing, email marketing, so you can send up to 2,000 free emails a month to your clients. And we also have a gallery tool if you want to showcase images or anything like that. We come with unlimited support, so you can actually call us. Now, if you do it all yourself on the DIY plan, you get email support, but you can have us at the full price for $29 or $300 a year, and we'll be able to help you. We can have zero commission fees on our actual store, so you earn what you earn. We don't take a profit from that. We have design services if you need them, so we can actually design your website if you want us to. And we're very affordable. If you want to do the DIY plan, we're $180 a year or $19 a month. Or if you want us to do it for you, get everything set up, and you have access to our full phone support, we're just $29 a month or $300 a year. And one of the cool things about our websites, we have the fastest speeds compared to any other platform out there. We're 5 times as fast as Squarespace, 2 times faster than WordPress and Weebly and GoDaddy websites. So we've really optimized our websites to perform better for Google search, and having those details are helpful for you. So that's it for today. If you have any questions, please let me know. You can go to Zipster.com to find out more details about our products if you're interested. And I know Susan, she has some options for you too. If you're a business owner and you're looking for some relief, she'll probably go into those details as well. And if you want to contact me directly, you can. There's my email, jeremyh@photoviz.com. Photoviz is just the sister company to Zipster, but that's the easiest way to contact me.
All right, Jeremy, we have some questions that were in the chat.
Okay.
One of them was, is it unethical to delete negative reviews?
Well, most times Google won't let you, and a lot of these platforms won't let you delete negative comments out there. I'm all about transparency. Again, showing negativity is okay as long as you have your side of the story. Again, we're only seeing that customer's negative review based on their experience. Again, they could have been having a bad day, or maybe it wasn't the right day for them product-wise or whatever you're selling them. Maybe the burger was cold that day. Maybe you can just be able to reply, our chef was we're sorry that this happened. At least being able to share or at least apologize in some form shows that you have integrity. And, transparency is always a key thing that I tell businesses to have. So I don't know of many platforms that let you delete them anymore, but I think it's always good to have negativity, because there's actually research saying if a company gets too many good reviews, that maybe this might be false. And there's also a thing of so people start to not believe things if it's too good to be true, if that makes sense. So having some negativity just gives the company a little bit more, credibility, because not everyone's going to have a perfect experience. Not everyone's going to have a 5-star experience. I mean, even Zipster, we have 4.7. So we had one person that's not even a customer leave us a bad review because we took a client from them. So it happens. People are just negative for those, whatever purpose. But it rounds out the company and shows that you're not perfect, which can sometimes be a flaw itself.
All right. Do meta descriptions need to be complete sentences?
Meta descriptions, let's go back, let's take a look at them. So for meta descriptions, they kind of do. This is how, like when you're looking at Google, when you go to that search result, it's basically that first little sentence that you see before, right underneath the title. That's what that meta description is. Meta keywords don't have to be. Meta keywords are more like how people search. So like best barber in Greensboro. People don't write full sentences when they search. They do more keyword things. So like best burger, best this, or closest X. Those are things how people search for meta keywords. But for descriptions, basically it's just one little sentence. So again, it's 50 to 155 characters to basically describe what your business does. So if you're a painter, this one we had residential interior and exterior painter, deck, fence staining, drywalls, repair, and more. Available in the whatever location they were at.
Okay. Does your platform require the latest browser and operating systems? My Apple computer is no longer upgradable.
So our system will work with any platform as long as the browser is working. I mean, our system works really fast. It obviously it's optimized, but we go back many generations to make sure that the website is viewable on older ones, because we know some people don't update their browsers as often as they should, or their OSs as they should. So this is something that we take in, look at. We actually have a tool that lets us see like versions that came out 10 years ago to see how our websites perform on it. So we try to optimize ours to be working on as many different versions, but of course it works best on the newest versions always. But we try to go back as far as we can, but sometimes there's security risks involved with older browsers that haven't been updated, or systems OSs that haven't been updated, or it's just outdated tech. Sometimes it can't, sometimes things can't be viewable, like Flash can't be viewable on the newest version anymore because no one updates Flash systems anymore, and Adobe actually killed Flash itself. The product no longer is updated. So we try to go back as far as we can, but there are limitations sometimes just in general. But we are always up to date and visible on the newest system. So if your clients can see it, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Should I build the blog and website at the same time, or one before the other?
Sure. Again, take your time. I think when you're building a website, you can concentrate on those 3 pages, that home page, that about page, and contact us page. But you can also go back if you have any written content for blogs, or you want to move blogs around, you can do those, but they don't have to come at the same time. I always say have those 3 pages out and then build what you want next. So, because at the end of the day, you want people to be able to contact you. I helped a carpet cleaning guy. He wanted to have all these pages, but he's like, I just don't have time to write all this stuff. And our team helped him. We got his 3 pages out, and I was like, now just make a blog real quick. He's like, okay, what should I blog about? I say, have a before and after of a carpet cleaning that you did. So he gave me some photos. We put in like 2 paragraphs in and a call to action to book with him. And then I said, now share that to your social media pages. That right there was just going to be that little lure that was going to get people to his new website. So if you're able to do something like that, where you have 3 pages in one blog post, that way people can just know, like, hey, check out this event. Oh, it's going to their website. I didn't know they had a website. And then they might book you for those services too. Because remember, the people that are going to often book with you might be people you know right away. So share that as soon as you can. So I recommend those 3 pages, get it at least built, and then you can think about doing blogs.
Let's see. Okay, so we've got, can you talk about alt text?
Sure. So alt text, this is a thing that some people think about with websites. I think a lot of people get the information out there that they have to have alt text for their images to be searched for, but it doesn't have to have it. And it's just it's an extra thing if you want it. We can add those texts to those images if you need them, but they're not necessary. A lot of people do it incorrectly too. This is where they try to do keyword stuffing, where they try to put like, this business information on every single image that they have, and it's usually copied and paste. This is actually wrong. Alt text purpose is actually for people like, who have, issues actually reading, and like when they hit like the ability to like read an image or something like that. and it needs to describe what's in the image form. So, if it's a picture of a hamburger, it needs to describe the picture of the hamburger, not the business. So it needs to say, delicious looking hamburger with lettuce, tomato, onions, and pickles on a sesame seed bun. That's what that alt text needs to describe, because that's just basically information about the image versus the actual, business itself. So I recommend, if you want to, make sure it's those details and not the keyword stuffing stuff. So, but you can add it if you need to, but it's not necessary. All the meta description, keywords, and page title is really what you need, and then blogging.
How do I ensure that my site loads fast?
Sure. So some things out there, there's a thing called page site or page speed insights. It's built by Google. Take a look at it. What it'll do is it'll run your website through. Once you put the address in, it'll show you how your website performs on desktop and Google and on phone. And that's basically how Google's reading it. It's going to let you know what's working and what's not working. Sometimes people upload certain images to their website and it's not optimized. And it's just going to let you know every little detail, like, oh, there's too many plugins, there's too many JavaScript code, there's too many things like that. One thing we pride ourselves in, our developers really worked hard to basically streamline that process, to cut out the fat of that code and optimize your images without you having to do all the heavy lifting. So one thing I recommend is, if you want a faster website, you can look at us. Our websites perform very high, in the 99% website development on those page speeds. You'll see some websites out there, which is sadly like Squarespace and stuff like that, that get like only like a 10 out of 100. We try to get our websites at least above 80 in page speed, and that's just going to help, because Google likes fast websites. The more faster your website is, Google's going to be like, okay, this website loads fast, people are staying on it longer, and people are navigating through it more. Let me put this on higher pages. The slower a website loads, Google's going to think something's wrong with it. It might be spam, could be incorrectly written, or it's too slow. So it's just like, this isn't worth showcasing because people aren't staying on the website long enough. So I recommend checking out Page Speed Insights. You can search for that, plug in your address, see how your website measures up.
Does help with designs come with the $19 per month plan?
So we have those opportunities, and actually I can pull up my, let me see if I can switch screens real quick. That's it. See what you guys can see. Can you see this page? Okay. So with our pricing, we have different options. Do it yourself is typically the $15 to $19 model. We have a We Do It For You plan, where it's a one-time fee of $450, and that means our team's going to handle your design, and then we're also going to handle your SEO. So we'll load in all your content, your SEO stuff. You'll have an SEO expert sit down, learn about your business, and they'll put all that information out there. And then you unlock the ability to do the phone support when you need it as well. So at the $25 month plan, or $300 a year, and then that one-time fee, that's what you get with that, and that's what you're going to get us building your services. And we also have more customized services if you want it, where we'll actually build everything from the ground up to make sure it's designed as perfectly as you want. What we do is we start with one of our templates, again, where the logo and all the tech in the menu is placed, but then we redesign it to make it fresh and make it uniquely yours. So you have that option, but that's a $1,500 one-time fee. But I love the We Do It For You plan, because what it does is it takes one of our templates, we load it in, we get you nice looking, it's nice and beautiful, and then we have that SEO service built right into it. So we're going to have that optimized pages right away.
Okay, what was the other grammar site that you mentioned beside Grammarly?
Oh, there's a website called Hemingway. Obviously, after Ernest Hemingway. If you look up Hemingway writing tool, I think that'll pop up. Check it out. It's free as well. It helps you with basically what level of writing you're at. It helps it like let you know, like, hey, you're writing a little too smart, or hey, this needs a little more oomph to it to be at a certain level, so it's readable and digestible for clients. And then Grammarly's great. And again, Google Docs, Google Docs getting a lot smarter, and I think Grammarly actually integrates into Google Docs now. So you can have everything on a Google Doc, and then Grammarly be connected as a small little add-on, which is nice. So it's kind of doing double lifting.
And once the site is built, can another company manage the site?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's the thing. If you want us to build the website and get it all out there for you, our system, it'll be on our servers. But if you have team members that you want people to actually log in and do all that stuff for you, all they need is your login information, and then they can handle your website for you. Everything's built on our proprietary servers in our system, because all our system is proprietary. So it's not like WordPress where like, hey, I'm going to take it from this server to another person's server. They would just be able to log into your website and then be able to maintain it however they want to. So you'd be like, hey, can you make these updates for me? You just give them your login and they could go in there that way.
Can you take it off your server is the next question by somebody else.
Again, no, our system is built on our platform. We've had it for 15 years, developed this way, and we've optimized our servers that way. So our templates are built and ingrained into our CMS, so everything is built in our own system. You couldn't put it on like a Bluehost or HostGator or SiteGrounds or anything like that. It's built into our own server. So that's why when you buy our package, you get not only the templates, but you get all these resources right away. You get our template, you get our light speed hosting that's built right into your website, your blogging tools, all that's built right into the package itself. So you couldn't change where it's being loaded at.
How do you have quality photos that load fast? What's the range of sizes?
Sure. With working with us, you can have, the way our system works is when you upload an image, it automatically optimizes it on the back end. So you don't have to be like, hey, I need this 3,000 by 1,700. That's optimal size level. You don't want pictures bigger than 3,000 because some screens won't be able to showcase that entire thing. So one thing is you can optimize your images through, there's tools online that, optimize my image, I think is the name of one of them, where it'll go through and optimize it for the web. If you have something like Photoshop, you can actually go to Save As and Export, Optimize for the web, and it'll actually optimize those options for the web. But you can have your pictures as big as possible. That's what is recommended, and then just go to those optimized features. So we worked with our other side of the company is called PhotoViz, and we've been in business since 2004. And our main goal was to help photographers have websites. So the key focus for our system has always been about images. So we helped people optimize their images without doing a lot of heavy lifting. So we do that on the back end of our system. So you don't, and what it does is it makes your full size version, and then it makes a smaller version and a mobile version seamlessly, so you're not having to do it 3 times. Some of these other platforms out there, you have to make a mobile version, and then you have to make your full-size version. So you pick what and choose what you want at the end of the day and what's easier, but sometimes you have to do it twice to perform better on mobile versus desktop. So I recommend using something that's going to do it all for you versus you having to do a lot of extra lifting, if that makes sense.
Does the $450 include building an e-commerce store like a t-shirt business?
So what that's going to do for the $450 is going to get your website kind of polished, and there might be a little extra here and there, but you might have to look at some other options. Like we'll get that going, but if you have tons of inventory, we're not going to do all the inventory. That might be an extra custom quote on top of that, or it might just be the custom site option for that. But it really depends on how big your store is. I know some people have like 5 items. Of course, we could help you set that up. But there's some other places that have 100 items. That's a little bit more heavy lifting, but we would give you a custom quote for that to let you know, because we're trying to help you get online as quickly as possible if that we do it for you plan. And sometimes those are the extra little things that can prevent that thing from being just $450. So I recommend just getting a quote for it, and that way our team will be able to tell you right away how much extra it is. But if it's not a lot of products, then of course, I think that would fit the model. It really depends on like just how long it would take to actually do it.
Sorry, Jeremy. They're coming fast and furious, so I'm
That's okay.
trying to follow. we have a request for a part 2 and to go further on this. So
Okay.
people saying great content, excellent webinar. Thank you. Do you build Shopee stores? Is that, I guess that's what, shop stores or Shopee stores? I'm not sure if I'm picking up extra text.
I'm not quite sure what that.
Shopify. Hi.
Shopify. Shopify. No, we don't build them ourselves. Again, that's kind of our. We have our own e-commerce built in. So I recommend if you need something really, if you want to do through them, you can. If you want to use our system, you can. It really depends on what model you want to work on. Like with us, you can sell your products. You can sell digital products. You can sell physical products however you want to. We have these, systems that can all be built in. It's all mobile friendly, no commission fees and inventory management, sales coupons, gallery layouts. We have a lot of similar features to Shopify. Shopify is just going to have extra here and there, but they're also going to take commission fees out of you. So it really comes down to what you want at the end of the day, but your website with Zipster comes with an e-commerce built in.
Okay, I have one more question here. I kind of didn't understand the text. Maybe you can figure it out.
Okay.
It said go to Google for speed load, ? Maybe you can understand, because I might have missed what you were talking about.
Okay, let's see. Google Page Speed is what it's called. So Page Speed Insights. So number one, when you type in Google Page Speed, when you click on this, it'll ask you to enter, a .com for something. And then it'll analyze it and give you information about that website.
Okay, I think that's what they were asking, so yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It's a really great resource. It'll let you know how your website's doing on mobile and desktop, and it'll kind of go break line by line by saying this image is too big, it needs to be optimized, or this code is too heavy. What it means by too heavy means it's too slow, means it's taking too much resources to load.
Okay, so I think that's all the questions that I have in my chat. Does anybody else have any questions that they want to come on screen and ask, or any more that you want to send to me in the chat? Okay, so I think, let's see, hold on, there might have been. Okay, so I think that's all the questions pertaining to you, Jeremy. I have some other things to announce for people that are asking kind of overall series questions. Guys, I'm gonna put in the chat box, this is the link to my website for the Reidsville Chamber, where past presentations, including the previous one that Jeremy did on social media and websites, is going, you can click on that and play the previous ones. And you also can be on the lookout when this one's produced. We're very thankful Rockingham Update is producing these for us, and he is going to be able to load that hopefully by mid next week. And you'll be able to get this replay. Susan, who is also the sponsor of this, has let me know that if you will fill out the survey, so by registering and getting the automated email to join us today, you will get another automated email with the survey. We really need you to fill that out because this is done through the state, and that's how this webinar is paid for. If you'll fill out that survey, she can send you the document and the slides and that sort of thing. But I've sent you the link to where the playback will be for this. Also, as Jeremy mentioned, Susan with the Small Business Center, as you see our resources, all of us are on the screen. Susan with the Small Business Center, she has some counseling available and also some options. If you're struggling to do some of these things, she has some options. So definitely reach out to her. And Jeremy is available. He has some very affordable options for small business. So just shoot him an email, and we're very excited that so many people were able to get some good information today.
Yeah, Susan's got a great program right now that we're teaming up with her. If you want to get your website designed by our team and you fulfill these obligations that Susan has, we can actually build your website, a custom website, and host it for 2 years for free if you fill out these forms from her. So contact Susan Reagan, and her information is right there. We have this great opportunity to work with small businesses of Rockingham County, and something that, I'm from Rockingham County, so I'm been looking forward to helping as many businesses as we can.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you so much for a great presentation once again. And we've just been really blessed to have a lot of people who are trying to help the small businesses in Rockingham County. Another great presentation. Thanks everybody for joining us today. Again, the slides, the topics at 12, playback from Rockingham Update will be available later. We do have a how to start a business. Unfortunately, Andrew's not going to be able to join us, but we are still going to do the how to start a business next week. And I believe Susan has told me we're going to have a different presenter. But we are continuing with our series. So you just go back to that same website and register to join us. We are looking forward to a couple more weeks. We've got another couple of weeks left. We're going to finish through August. I think we're going to do one on small business loans and building credit as well. So you'll probably want to check us out for that. So thanks again, Jeremy with Zipster, and thanks to the Team Reidsville Group and the Rockingham County Economic Development Office, and again, Susan with the Small Business Center at RCC. You guys have a great day. We'll see you soon.